Students, today we are going to start our syllabus for the paper optics for BSc second semester. And this syllabus is by the syllabus provided by Pondicherry University. The syllabus has already been shared in the Google Classroom. So we will start with the unit 1. So the first topic that we are going to discuss is Fermat's principle. So we are basically, as you know, that we are basically going to discuss about optics. So Fermat principle is the most fundamental principle that are used for studying geometrical optics. So Fermat's principle basically provides you uh, mm, the way a ray of light will travel, the path the ray of light is going to take during an optical setup through an optical system. Suppose that you have these are very familiar figures that you see in the book. So this is the principal axis. So whenever you suppose this is a lens and area of light is coming like this, and after meeting this convex lens, it will be converging to a point like this. So all of you are well aware of this thing. Similarly, suppose that you have a lens like this, and then you have another lens like this. Okay, so suppose ray of light is coming like this, and then obviously after that it will converge, and this is a diverging lens like this. These are the this is all these are basically part of the geometrical optics. So in geometrical optics, Fermat's principle basically allows you to decide the path of the ray of light. Okay, so it gives a particular principle based on which a ray of light will always follow a certain path during and whenever it passes through an optical system. So this is a single lens system. You see, this is a single lens system, single lens optical system. This is a double lens optical system. So these are the optical systems. Okay, so in the same way you may have you may have an optical system where there will be so many lenses and different natures. So let us discuss about Fermat's principle. The note I have already shared with you in Google Classroom, so you can definitely refer to that while watching this video. So what according to Fermat's principle, the ray of light will always correspond to that path. A ray of light will always correspond to that path. Okay, for which the time taken is an extremum. The time taken is an extremum. Okay, so what does it mean? That the time taken can either be a maximum or a minimum, or it should be stationary. Okay, in comparison to other nearby available paths. Okay, so this means extrema. So how do we mathematically express that? So if you want to say that obviously whenever a ray is traveling, it obviously goes through a medium. Okay, so the medium is basically having a refractive index. Okay, so if you have an optical system, so optical system may have different lenses, isn't it? So there may be a lens number 1, there may be a lens number 2, there may be a lens number 3. and there will be free space, okay. So when the ray is coming from this, it will first enter the free space, then it will go through the lens, then again free space, then again lens, then again free space, again lens, and then again it will come out finally. So this is the optical system. So you can't expect to have a, you cannot, so it's not possible, to have a single refractive index. So what we will do, we will, here in this case we will consider the refractive index is position dependent. Obviously if it is here, refractive index is different. 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 Here also different. So what we will do, we will consider a refractive index which is position dependent. So it is noted by small n, and we will write it as x, y, z. Okay, so this is a position dependent refractive index. Okay, so now let us consider that a ray of light is passing through a distance ds. Okay, so this distance is ds, and it is going through a refractive index n. Okay, and it is moving with a velocity c. So you know that c is the speed of light. Okay, so time taken by a ray of light, therefore time taken by a ray of light to traverse a distance ds, okay, in a medium of refractive index n is, okay. So you know that velocity equal to what? Distance divided by time. So time is nothing but distance by velocity. So in this case our distance is ds obviously, and velocity is c. Since it is passing through, so I will name it as dt. Since it is passing through a refractive index n, it will be like this. So it is nothing but n ds by c. Okay, so this is for a small distance ds. So for a total distance, suppose there is a point a, there is a point b. So so there is a possibility that it can go from here to here. This is a, this is b. The ray of light is going, may go from here to here, a to b, through this path. So let me name it as a path c. Okay, this is small c, this is small c. The speed of light is basically small c, and the ray of light can also go like this. There are so many paths available, so let me name it as c dash. Okay, so we just considered for a small distance ds. So if I ask you for the whole distance a to b, so it will definitely be equal to time taken to travel this from distance from a to b is integration, it is going from a to b, n ds by c. Okay, so this is the first expression that we have, okay, for time. Now if we consider another path, suppose that we have considered another path, and that path is going through c. So we are considering this dotted path. Okay, so if I consider the dotted path, obviously let us name for this the time taken is t. Let us consider for this time taken is t dash. Okay, here the path is, it is the path acb. Here the path, this path is ac dash b. Okay, so we have two paths. Okay, now we need to decide that which one is correct. Now for that, what we can do that, yes, so you see that if t dash is a time taken along the path ac dash b, and if acb indeed represents a path of ray through acb, then and tau will be either less or greater or equal to tau dash. Okay, so if we have t and t dash, so how many possibilities we have here? There are three possibilities. Either t dash will be greater than t will be greater than t dash, or t will be less than t dash, or there is a possibility that they are equal. Okay, fine, t equal to t dash. These are the possibilities, isn't it? So thus, according to Fermat's principle, out of many paths, okay, which are connecting these 2 points, the light may follow that path for which the time taken is an extremum. Okay, so you see that in this case I have shown only 2 paths. There can be many more paths like this. You see, there can be many more paths like this. Okay, so we have so many options available, but we can take only that path for which it is an extremum. Okay, so how to decide that? So mathematically what we can do that, we can have extremum only when, okay, del t is equal to 0. So this is mathematics, you know about it. So del t is means a to b n ds by c equal to 0. So that is the second, sorry, I will not consider the second option. And see, again, c is a constant here, c is a constant, so there is no point of keeping it. So if I take it out, c will be out of it. So integration a to b, it is n ds equal to 0. So since this is a constant, it will definitely be neglected. So simply that expression turns out to be n is equal to 0. So this is the main mathematical state system for Fermat's principle. So obviously you can see that when we consider these 2 points a and b, there is a possibility like that, there is a possibility of going like this. Sorry, so if I do like this, so there is a possibility of going like this, there is a possibility of going like this, there is a possibility of going like this also, there is a possibility of going like this also. So there are so many ways. Fine. So from this principle we can see that in a homogeneous medium, suppose that when we are going from a to b, when we are going from a to b, we are in a homogeneous medium. Homogeneous medium, what does it mean? Because refractive index is same. Okay, n is same everywhere. Okay, it doesn't change. So the rays will always be straight line. Okay, so when the medium is not changing, definitely there is no point of changing the direction of the light, isn't it? So the so the rays will be always straight line, because a straight line will correspond to a minimum value of the optical path connecting the 2 points. Okay, so if you look at this situation, we can see that if we make a straight line directly from a to b, and this is going to be the minimum time taken, because only when it is an homogeneous medium. So in case of a homogeneous medium, the ray of light will always take a straight line. Okay, so in a homogeneous medium, a ray of light will always follow a straight line. That's all. So that's all about Farmer's principle. I'll suggest all of you to patiently listen to this video and also keep the note ready along with you, so that you can relate the things. And after this I will upload the applications of Farmer's principle. So our next video will be on applications of Farmer's principle. Okay, so what will be that? So first thing we are going to do, we are going to prove the laws of prove the laws of reflection using Farmer's principle. Then we will prove the laws of refraction using Farmer's principle. So these are the two things we are going to do in a next video.